In the quiet moments of life, when the world seems still, there is a battle raging unseen. It is not fought with swords or shields, but with choices, thoughts, and faith. This is the realm of spiritual warfare, a timeless conflict as ancient as humanity itself. Each of us, whether we realize it or not, is engaged in these battles, both within and without. Some call it the struggle between light and darkness, others the conflict between good and evil. But in essence, it is the journey of the soul seeking its true purpose, yearning to align with something greater than the fleeting desires of this world. The chosen ones, the seekers of truth, those who yearn for deeper meaning, are called to arms in these spiritual battles. They face enemies not of flesh and blood but of principalities and powers, as Paul wrote to the Ephesians. But before they confront the outside world, the first battleground awaits within their own hearts. Reflect. What war is waged within your soul? How do you stand firm when the storm rages inside? For it is in conquering the self that the battle begins. Part 1. The internal battle, the conflict of the soul. The fiercest of all battles begins within the depths of the human heart. It is there, in the secret places of the soul, that we wrestle with ourselves. Our spirit longs for righteousness, for light, but our flesh clings to comfort, to the world's fleeting desires. As Paul wrote in Romans, "For I do not do the good I want to do, but the evil I do not want to do, this I keep on doing." Romans 7 verse 19. This is the conflict of the soul, the first battleground of the spiritual war. The chosen one feels the weight of this war in the quiet moments of decision, in the silent struggles when no one else is watching. It is the war between the spirit and the flesh, between who we are and who we are called to become. Every day, there is a choice. To feed the spirit or to indulge the flesh. To move toward the light or be pulled into the shadows. The internal battle is often silent, but it is never without consequence. The soul's wounds may not bleed visibly, but they are felt deeply in moments of regret, doubt, and despair. The mind becomes a battlefield of thoughts, where the voice of truth fights to be heard amidst the chaos of fear, pride, and temptation. These are the invisible weapons wielded against us, drawing us away from our higher calling. But even in this battle, there is hope. The chosen one learns to discern the still, small voice of truth amidst the noise. This voice calls for perseverance, for faith in the unseen. It whispers that victory begins with surrender, not to the world, but to the divine purpose that resides within. As we conquer these inner struggles, we are refined, made stronger for the battles that lie ahead. Yet, as we face our own shadows, the world outside begins to press upon us, testing our faith from every side. Reflect. If the war within is so fierce, what forces wait for us beyond? The chosen one must not only master the self but be prepared for the external battles yet to come. Part 2. The external battle, influences and opposition in the material world. As the chosen one emerges from the internal battlefield, another conflict awaits, a struggle not confined to the heart, but one that presses in from the world around us. This is the external battle, where invisible forces and tangible influences collide to test the resolve of those who walk the path of faith. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Ephesians 6 verse 12. These are the words that remind us that our adversaries are not always the people or circumstances we encounter. Rather, they are unseen powers that work through temptation, distractions, and the subtle manipulations of the world. The external battle manifests in many forms. It comes in the temptations that seek to pull the chosen one off course, in the allure of worldly success that promises fulfillment, but leaves the soul empty. It is felt in the pressures of society, where standing firm in faith becomes a lonely and difficult stance. We are drawn toward conformity, enticed to compromise the truth for the sake of comfort or acceptance. These forces operate in shadows, crafting circumstances that test our endurance, whispering lies that seek to weaken our will. They make us question our identity, sowing seeds of doubt about who we are and what we are called to do. Even our closest relationships can become battlegrounds, as loved ones unknowingly become instruments of pressure or distraction. But just as there are forces that work against us, there is also a power that works within us. The external battle is not fought with physical weapons but with the strength of the Spirit. To resist the currents of the world, the chosen one must be anchored in something greater. And that anchor is faith, a force stronger than any opposition. The world may push and pull, but those who walk by faith remain unshaken. The battle is not about escaping conflict but standing firm in the midst of it. It is in these external trials that faith is tested and strengthened, revealing the depth of our trust in the unseen. Reflect. As the world presses in, how do we remain steadfast? What is this power that enables us to stand firm when the external battles rage? The answer lies in the shield we carry, the unbreakable force of faith. Part 3. The role of faith in spiritual battles. Faith, an unseen force, yet more powerful than any sword. It is the shield that guards the chosen one against the relentless assault of doubt, fear, and temptation. Faith is the lifeline that connects us to the divine, a thread that runs through every spiritual battle, sustaining and guiding us even when the road ahead seems dark. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews 11 verse 1. It is the very foundation upon which the chosen one stands. In the midst of spiritual warfare, faith is more than belief. It is action, endurance, and a deep trust in what is unseen but not unknown. In the heat of battle, when the internal war has left the soul weary and the external forces close in, faith becomes the only force capable of sustaining the chosen one. It is not a passive state of mind but a dynamic, living force. Faith tells us that victory is possible, even when defeat seems certain. It reminds us that the battle is not ours alone to fight, but that we are empowered by a higher strength. There will be moments when the chosen one feels weak, moments when doubts rise like waves threatening to overwhelm. But it is in these moments that faith reveals its true power. It is the strength to stand firm when everything around us tells us to give up. It is the courage to press forward when the path ahead is uncertain. Faith speaks louder than the fear, echoing the promises of something greater. Each battle, whether internal or external, is an opportunity for faith to grow. It is not just about surviving the storm but learning to walk through it, with unwavering trust in the one who guides us. Faith builds resilience, not in the absence of conflict, but through it. And as the chosen one deepens their faith, they become more attuned to the need for constant spiritual protection. Reflect. If faith is our greatest shield, what other defenses do we possess? The battles are relentless, and the chosen one must be equipped not only with faith but with a full armor, an armor designed for the spiritual realm. Part 4. Vigilance and Spiritual Armor. In the midst of spiritual warfare, faith alone is a mighty shield, but it is not the only defense. The chosen one must be fully equipped, for the battles are constant, and the forces that seek to divert, weaken, and ensnare are ever present. Vigilance is required, for the enemy prowls like a roaring lion, waiting for a moment of weakness. And so, the divine call is clear. Put on the full armor of God, so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. Ephesians 6 verse 11. This armor is not forged by human hands, nor can it be worn by the unprepared. It is spiritual armor, woven with faith, truth, righteousness, and the power of God's word. To walk the path of the chosen one is to carry this armor daily, for the battles may strike without warning, and without it, the soul is left vulnerable. The belt of truth surrounds the chosen one, anchoring them in reality, in the unwavering light of what is right and just. It holds everything together, for without truth, all else falters. The breastplate of righteousness guards the heart, protecting the core of who we are. It shields us from the arrows of condemnation and guilt that would seek to pierce through and paralyze our spirit. On our feet are the shoes of readiness, prepared to walk in peace even through the fire. These shoes give us the stability to stand firm when the ground beneath us shakes. In our hands we carry the shield of faith, which extinguishes the fiery darts of the enemy, darts of doubt, fear, and despair that try to break through our defenses. And upon our heads we wear the helmet of salvation, the constant reminder of who we are and to whom we belong. This helmet guards our minds, protecting our thoughts from being corrupted by the lies and confusion of the enemy. Lastly, in our grasp, we hold the sword of the Spirit, the Word of God. This is our only offensive weapon, but it is all we need. The Word is living and powerful, sharper than any two-edged sword. It cuts through the deception, the doubt, and the darkness, revealing the path forward. With this full armor, the chosen one is prepared for battle. But armor alone is not enough. It must be worn with vigilance. For it is not a one-time act, but a daily discipline to guard the soul against the subtle and relentless forces that seek to pull us away from our purpose. Reflect. What is this purpose for which we battle? Why does the chosen one endure so much? The answer lies not in the battle itself but in the greater plan that every battle prepares us for. The trials we face are not without reason. They are part of something far greater than we can see. The time has come to understand the greater purpose behind the spiritual battles we face. Part 5. The greater purpose of spiritual battles. The battles we fight are not without meaning. Every struggle, every trial, every wound endured on the spiritual battlefield is woven into a greater plan. 4. We know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Romans 8 verse 28. This is the divine truth that gives the chosen one hope and endurance, even when the battles seem endless. Spiritual warfare is not just about survival. It is about transformation, about refining the soul, strengthening the spirit, and preparing the chosen one for a higher calling. Each battle shapes us, stripping away the things that do not serve our divine purpose and fortifying the qualities that do. Patience, resilience, compassion, humility. These are the fruits that grow in the soil of adversity. The wounds we receive in battle are not in vain. They teach us the depths of our own strength and the vastness of God's grace. They humble us, reminding us that we do not fight alone. Each scar becomes a symbol of victory, not defeat, for they are marks of survival, of perseverance, and of the divine protection that carried us through. The greater purpose of spiritual battles is to prepare the chosen one for their true mission. These conflicts are not simply tests of endurance but acts of preparation. They mold us into vessels capable of carrying out the will of the divine, ready to serve a higher purpose that goes beyond our own desires. It is through the battles that we discover our true identity, not as victims of circumstance, but as warriors of light, called to stand firm in a world that often resists the truth. The chosen one learns that the purpose of the battle is not to fight for themselves, but to become instruments of peace, truth, and love in a broken world. And as we come to understand this greater purpose, we realize that the battles we face are not merely obstacles to overcome. They are pathways to becoming the person we are meant to be. Reflect. What does this divine purpose mean for the chosen one's journey? How do we step forward into the mission for which we are called? Every battle you face, whether internal or external, serves a greater purpose, to prepare you for your divine calling. These struggles are not meant to break you, but to shape you into a warrior of light. Stand firm, knowing that with faith, you are equipped to overcome. Remember, spiritual battles are not obstacles but opportunities for transformation. Let them refine you, strengthen you, and guide you toward your higher purpose. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel to continue growing in faith and wisdom. There's so much more to discover on this journey. And now, don't miss the next video. Chosen for More, the trials that unlock your divine destiny. This is where we'll explore how the challenges you face are not just battles. They're keys unlocking your true potential and guiding you to your ultimate mission. Watch now, and step deeper into your purpose.